Justice served in an honest fight. True crime tales till the verdict's right. Solving more than just trivial quests, where sentences rule at the defense rests.
There are over 320 police being deployed today. We will continue to increase that number to make sure that the Jewish community feels safe, know that police are there to protect them, and they can go about their life. The type of atrocities we saw yesterday can't be tolerated, and it's not fair that any section of the community cannot go around their usual way of life. I understand, and the New South Wales Police understand, the fear that is currently within that community. And I think it's really important that we show the resolute support for the community so that they can go around their way of life. This morning, I've had the opportunity to visit the families and the officers who were injured yesterday. Both sets of families are incredibly supportive of the support they are getting. And the officers who were injured yesterday, both sets of families are incredibly supportive of the support they are getting from the police family. One of the important things about this is the way that the New South Wales Police Force has come together to make sure that we support each other and support those brave officers who went forward yesterday. There are many, many stories of bravery from members of the community as well. And I really want to acknowledge the work that was done yesterday. We know that a number of people are alive now because of the actions of innocent bystanders, and I thank them for the work that they're doing. Our investigation under Operation ARCS is continuing. I'll only provide limited updates on that. What's really important is to say that we do have a 24-year-old male in hospital at the moment. Based on his medical condition, it is likely that that person may face criminal charges. I'm very mindful of not prejudicing any prosecution of that person if they're put before the court. Very happy to take questions later on. Might hand over to the Premier. Can I just say, I have reiterated this message several times in the past press conferences. This is a time for calm. Retribution or acts against any part of any community will not be accepted. We will have a significant policing presence. This is a time for the community to come together. This is a time that police will take action to make sure the community feels safe. This is not what we expect in New South Wales, these types of actions. What we saw yesterday is abhorrent. We have taken firm action. We are keen to make sure the community now heals. Very happy to take questions later. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Thanks all for being here this afternoon. Obviously, a very trying day in Sydney. This morning, with the Treasurer and the Minister for Multiculturalism, I met with Jewish community leaders, spoke with several of them on the phone, and reiterated the public's unswerving support of that community during this incredibly dark hour, and to let them know that the people of Australia are behind them and are with them and are grieving with them today. This is a shocking act of violence, as we've said, and it needs to be met with an overwhelming government, community and police response. Operation Shelter will be overwhelming, and it may be inconvenient for people in the coming days, but we need to send a clear message to the people of this state and those in the affected community that have seen so much violence and damage, that New South Wales Police are there to protect them, to keep them safe, and that they've got every right to celebrate their faith and enjoy this festive period free from the profound worry and sadness associated with this horrible violence. A few things I'll just get to before I hand over to the Police Minister. A memorial site's been established at the rear of the Bondi Pavilion. I've noticed that people are already laying flowers at that site. We'd encourage members of the community to do that. It's encouraging to see record inquiries and massive lines at blood donation services across New South Wales. Please be patient if you'd like to make that act of civic duty, but it is warmly welcomed and it will go to a good cause. It's something practical that you can do in response to this terrible act. The New South Wales Crisis Cabinet committee, met last night. It'll meet again this afternoon and daily after that. National Cabinet's Crisis Committee meeting will meet as well this afternoon, and myself and the Police Commissioner will be on that with national security officials. We'll meet the National Security Committee this afternoon. We're urging people, if they have information or they'd like information, to contact the Public Information and Inquiry Centre. It's open and is operating 24/7 on 1800 227 228. The Public Information and Inquiry Centre will answer general queries and also register for people who are forced to leave personal possessions in the immediate vicinity that may be still under police protection or a police block. We know that there's cars, wallets and phones that are in that area. That's the best number to call to retrieve your personal belongings. Operation Shelter, as the Police Commissioner has said, is up and operational, but that will be beefed up in the coming days. Bondi Beach, public school remains closed because of its proximity to the scene. School counselling services have been arranged at nearby public schools, and I understand that Premier's Department counsellors are on site with a vest if people need immediate emergency mental health support or counselling. They're working on setting up a static operation on site in Bondi if you need that help and support, as no doubt the community will. Having spoken to Jewish community leaders today, they're reeling and in crisis, and obviously many of them are incredibly distressed at what they've seen. Latest information is 15 innocent people are dead. One of the perpetrators is dead, 16 in total. 38 people remain in New South Wales hospitals being treated. And that's all I'll say right now. I'll hand over to the Police Minister.
Thanks so much, Premier. As the Premier just said, the Premier's counsellors are out on site, and I've just come back from Bondi, and I can honestly say how valuable their contribution is, stopping not only officers but just generally people who are out there, and they really are having a big impact. So important that we get that message out. If you need to speak to someone, we do actually have that operation out there. We've got experts out there wanting to help. Also went out to see the police and to thank the police out there. We have police from commands right across metropolitan Sydney out and Bondi at the moment, around that area. And again, you know, like only too often, the police got a phone call this morning who were on today at 4:15 and were directed to go straight out there, and not a hesitation. No hesitation whatsoever. The Blue family is really all behind each other. They're behind the community, and they are only too happy to be of assistance in keeping our community safe. I spoke with some Jewish leaders out there. They were so thankful of the police and the work that they've been doing. As we well know, the relationship between the Jewish community and the New South Wales Police is strong, and they have been working hand in glove with CSG and our Jewish leaders for a couple of years now, given the circumstances that we have been in that community. I also just wanted to advise you that last night the Premier and I were over at Bondi. We went to the police station, and there were at least 50, 60 police officers there. Most of them weren't on duty. They just heard the event, put their uniform on, got in their car and drove to Bondi Police Station because they knew they'd be needed. We had them not just from their PAT, their locals, as far as Newcastle, Sutherland, Western Sydney, you name it. The police here in New South Wales do a great job, and they are here to support each other. They're here to support our community, and we're very thankful for that.
We're all happy to take questions.
Commissioner, the ABC has reported that the younger shooter was under investigation by ASIO 6 years ago for connections to a Sydney-based Islamic State terror group. Were any red flags raised within the police about his father's gun licence with 6 registered serious firearms, given they have known connections to Islamic State?
I certainly can't talk about what information the Commonwealth may have had, but certainly in terms of a firearms licence, the Firearms Registry conduct a thorough examination of all applications to ensure a person is fit and proper to hold a firearms licence.
But
Does that include associations with their family members?
It absolutely can, depending on the nature of the association, depending on the nature of the intelligence that's there. They have to weigh up all of those things in accordance with the Firearms Act.
Premier, how can the gun law be changed? Premier, how can we change the gun law so a man in suburbia doesn't have 6 licensed firearms? He's not a farmer after all.
Yeah, well, look, we're looking at that as we speak. I think it's time that we have a change to the law in relation to the firearms legislation in New South Wales, but I'm not ready to announce it today. We want to make sure that prospective reform and change in New South Wales has a lasting impact, but it's not the last time I'll be mentioning it, and you can expect action soon.
Why was he granted a firearm license?
I can't answer that question.
Do we have that information on that, Commissioner?
Because he met the eligibility criteria for a firearms licence. So the firearms licence was to be for a recreational hunting licence. There are two types of hunting licence, the ability to hunt on a property or also as part of a hunting club, so a gun club. He was a member of a gun club and was entitled by nature of the Firearms Act to have a firearms licence issued. Sorry, just one at a time, please. Pardon?
Do we know which gun?
I don't have those details with me at the moment.
Commissioner, what category of gun license? What category of gun license did he hold? I understand the different categories allow you to register different types of firearms.
He had a category A/B licence, which entitled him to have the long arms that he had as registered firearms.
Commissioner, does the New South Wales Firearms Registry talk to federal authorities? Like, would they have known what ASIO knew about this?
Depending on the nature of it, and as I said this morning, that's very much under investigation at the moment. We want to understand whether the person was, and certainly by criteria, he was eligible to hold a firearms licence. We do take into account all intelligence that's available. So, yes, we certainly do that.
And does the New South Wales Police have any discussion with ASIO regarding their investigations into the 24-year-old individual?
We work very closely with all Commonwealth agencies. As I said, I'm not going to go into what information ASIO may have held. We will work closely with the Commonwealth.
Premier, do you have concerns? Premier, do you have concerns that this might be a case of federal agencies not talking to New South Wales Police, and are you going to raise that concern this afternoon?
Look, I mean, I think it's reasonable in the circumstances to allow a full investigation and an inquiry to take place. There's a sequence here that's important. Firstly, community safety. Secondly, the investigation. There's an offender in custody. That prosecution is hugely important in terms of justice for the victims. And of course, a comprehensive investigation as to what went wrong. What could we do better? Is there better lines of communication? I'm not in a position now to criticise it, and I think it wouldn't be the right thing to do within 24 hours of this shocking, violent attack to be pronouncing failures here without the aid of an independent investigation. What I can promise is that's exactly what we will provide here in New South Wales. It's important that we get all the information on the table, and I want to make it clear we will act on those recommendations.
The Hanukkah event last night, is it true that private security there weren't allowed to hold firearms? And if so, can you explain why?
I don't know if that is the case. Happy to take that away and come back to you. They would have to be appropriately licensed to have those firearms. Sorry?
Was it a user-pays event? Can you tell us maybe how many police or what was the police presence in the area at the time of the event, and how seriously did police take any, I guess, potential security concern at the event?
Police always take safety personally. We're always mindful of community safety. There were active taskings for the local police area commander to be down there. In fact, the police area commander had been down there through the location. So it's one of those ones, we work closely with the security group, the Jewish security group, CSG, and then make sure that we have a policing presence that is there. I think what I can say, and the reassurance I can give the community, is the prompt response by police indicates very clearly that police take security safe.
Can you just give us a timetable of when the first police shots were fired, how long did it go on for, and when were the shooters taken out?
No, I can't give you that right at the moment. That's obviously part of the investigation. What I've said is that there were police at the scene at the time. Police responded promptly. I think we have seen very clearly on footage the bravery of officers and members of the public who took very prompt action to resolve this matter.
How many police were specifically stationed at the Hanukkah Baptist event?
As I said, it was taskings. So police from the police area command and other police that we have within the metropolitan area will move around that event. So it's an active tasking to be around the event.
Well, on that point, just right about before the Treasurer is saying.
How many officers would have been stationed at that event?
I don't have the exact number. As I said, they were tasking, so officers are continually going through that location. There were certainly officers there at the time when the incident occurred and responded very
There
promptly.
should have been more there, given the climate of bad incentives at the moment.
Look, I think in terms of the risk assessment, we certainly work closely with the Jewish community. I've made it really clear that there was no specific intelligence in relation to the incident itself. We responded very promptly.
Commissioner, are you able to confirm that a black Shahada flag was found either laid out on the bonnet of the car or inside the car? That's what we obviously been told by other police sources.
Yeah, that's very much part of the investigation. At this stage, I'm not prepared to confirm any of that. Further information will be provided. I think I've also made it quite clear with a person who is currently in hospital at the moment who may well face criminal charges. It's important that I don't prejudice any prosecution.
How would you
Commissioner, what can you
describe the
tell us
police
about-
response, Commission, and how would you describe the act of bravery of officers?
I think that's been really clear. I think anyone who has seen the footage will have seen police going forward to take positive action. It would have been an incredibly chaotic and terrifying scene, even for well-trained police officers. The fact that two persons had long arms and were indiscriminately firing them says that the act of bravery about going forward is something we should all celebrate. The police went forward, took very positive action, resolved the matter again with some outstanding bravery by members of the public.
And who's in
Commissioner, what can you tell us about the
charge
background?
of the investigation, and how will it work and where will it be based out of?
There's several investigations underway at the moment. I spoke this morning. The Joint Counter-Terrorism investigation will be led by our Counter-Terrorism Command with our Commonwealth agencies. At the same time, there is a critical incident investigation because we know that police fired a number of shots which resulted in the death of a person and also the injury to a second offender. So there are a range of investigations underway at the moment.
Commissioner, what can you
What's
tell
right
us?
saying that the police failed the Jewish community knowing it was the first day of Hanukkah?
Look, I respect a person having an opinion, but I've been really clear. Our police responded promptly. Our police respond very promptly. We work closely with the Jewish community. We are very attuned with providing support to the Jewish community.
Commissioner, what can you tell us about
and not private security or anyone else involved?
What I can say to you is that's currently part of the investigation. Obviously, that's something that will come through pathologist investigation, but also forensics and ballistics investigation. That is part of an active investigation.
without divulging the ideologies or any symbols of the scene, was the flag recovered? What evidence was taken away from the scene linked to those gunmen?
Last night, I declared a terrorist incident at 9:36 p.m. because I was satisfied, based on the circumstances, based on was located at the scene, based on the fact that it was the first day of Hanukkah and what appeared to be a deliberate shooting towards members of the Jewish community, that it was a terrorist act. I'm not going to go into individual pieces of evidence. They are subject to the investigation. I want to make sure that we do a very thorough and transparent investigation, which is what our police are doing at the moment.
Commissioner,
Hey there, thanks for stopping in. We hope you will join us again. We all look forward to next time. We get to talk about true crime. Clues. Justice served in an honest fight. True crime tales till the verdict's right. Solving more than just trivial quests, where sentences rule and the defense rests. Our true crime family is great. All types of topics we debate. Smash that like and ring that bell. Hit subscribe, you might as well.